Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my review of The Timeless Children, Season 12, episode finale for Doctor Who. And today we'll be discussing about The Timeless Child and the episode in general. And in my opinion, sad to say, it's Doctor Who is ruined. It is really sad to think that. I've had plenty of time to digest what happened last week, in last week's episode, what it means for the show, not only going forward, but also for the show, and its history. And when you look back on it, I think there'll be one key day that sticks out in my mind, or one key episode, and that was this episode, Series 12, The Timeless Children. I feel is the day where Doctor Who has ruined itself. Because, and let me explain why I feel this way, because there's no point of just saying it, and I want to say quickly, BBC have actually released a statement to basically give the New Who fans, and not only New Who fans, but all fans that are passionate, understand the show, basically the middle finger. And I feel that is so wrong. To any Doctor Who fan, let alone, the classic and New Who fans, especially the loyal ones, who's been around a lot. Like, these are the fans that they should be trying to please. Instead, no. Okay, they say they want to try and get new fans, of course, to watch the show. Of course, that's understandable. Of course you do. Like, you don't just want to have the stale, old fan base. But, at the same time, you still need to please the older fan base. Because at the end of the day, they are your base. They are basically, let's say, your shelter. They are what keeps the show going. And BBC has just given the middle finger to every single fan possibly alive, saying that the episode adds now new layers to basically what we knew before, basically. A load of codswallop. And The Timeless Child is basically the first let's say, Time Lord or Gallifreyan to regenerate on Gallifrey. However, the Timeless Child isn't actually from Gallifrey, actually from a mysterious planet that we haven't even heard of, never been mentioned in the show history before. And not only has it never been mentioned in the show's history, but also, we don't know anything about this race, where the Timeless Child come from. Maybe it was through a gateway, maybe there was a ancient race before the Time Lords or before the Gallifreyans, possibly. We just don't know anything about, basically the Timeless Child's race. And who was the Timeless Child? Well, guess who, everyone? Yes, it was the Doctor. And what it means now, basically, that William Hartnell Doctor wasn't the first Doctor. And for me, I don't know how this even got passed by, anyone, because quite frankly, it's ludicrous to think that now the Doctor isn't the Doctor. She's not even from Gallifrey. So, everything that we knew about the Doctor has been basically in one single episode, not even an anniversary episode, has been ripped up. The rulebook has been ripped up, thrown out the window, basically. And, basically now everything that we thought we knew about the Doctor, well, it's just untrue. Everything, I guess, to put it in other words, everything we knew is a lie or was a lie. And now we don't know anything about Doctor. We don't know where she comes from. Well, she's not Gallifreyan. And, we just do not know anything about the Doctor herself. Which, is horrible to think that. And to know now William Hartnell was not the first Doctor. Okay, they didn't say definitively he wasn't the first Doctor. They sort of didn't, say which orders the other Doctors were. But we know that Ruth is actually before William Hartnell. So William Hartnell could be the 15th Doctor, for crying out loud. We honestly do not know who the first Doctor actually was. And one thing though we do know, we can put Ruth before William Hartnell. That's the only thing we do know. And the reason why we can put Ruth before William Hartnell, because Ruth is a William Hartnell Doctor, and we know she used the title The Doctor, Therefore, she is actually pre-Hartnell. So therefore, at a minimum, Ruth is the first Doctor, or first Doctor to use the title of the Doctor. William Hartnell would be the second now. Tom Baker's the fifth. It's just a mess. An utter mess. I tell you that now. Now, I've got no problem with, showrunners, obviously doing their own thing. Like, we saw this with Stephen Moffat. He sort of explored Gallifreyan history, but he never did it to this extent. This is a ridiculous extent, I feel this has been done to. Unnecessary. We didn't even need to know how the Gallifreyans got their Time Lord regeneration energy. I felt the way it was, was perfect. As I say, also, it undermines previous episodes. For instance, I believe in one of the episodes, in Matt Smith's final episode, we saw Matt Smith get a new regeneration cycle. Yet the Timeless Child, which is the Doctor, apparently has unlimited life. So why would the Time Lords, the Gallifreyan Time Lords, need to grant Matt Smith a new regeneration cycle? Was that all for nothing? Was that all unnecessary? I do really wonder why, we've gone down this route. And not only that, I believe it was an episode called Listen, we actually saw Clara sneak under the Doctor's bed in his barn. We saw, that actually happen. So we saw the first Doctor as a child. We saw William Hartnell's Doctor as a child, for crying out loud. So, what was that all about? How come the Doctor was a child in that episode, yet now it's a timeless child she is? We've gone from basically in line with everything that Doctor Who has shown us to now out of line. As I say, the rulebook has been torn up, ripped up, shredded to bits and thrown out the window. That is literally what's happened in that episode, in my opinion. Unnecessarily. As I say, we didn't even need to know how the Time Lords came to get the regeneration cycle. I felt it was unnecessary. And, quite frankly, why make it the Doctor? You could have chosen the Master as well. I thought it would have been actually better. At one point, I did think it was going to be the Master, because the Master said, Doctor, really, sort of thing. Haven't you worked it out by now? And it would have been better if it says, it's me. Because I think that would have been a bit better of a way to go. Because with the Master, we don't really know too much about him. Whereas with, obviously, the Doctor, we do. We have a whole archive of knowledge about who the Doctor is. Whereas with the Master, well, it's sort of a character that pops up every now and again, more like, and is sort of like an arch enemy to the Doctor. And that would be, I think, a really cool way to do it, instead of the way they've done it, which I think is pathetic. But yeah, quite frankly, I'm not going to lie, really, really pathetic the way they've done it. And then we have the Time Lord Cybermen, which was even more pathetic. I burst into tears of laughter when I saw them come onto our screens. But I will say one thing, and I will give Chris Chibnall the only bit of credit in this episode was the ending. What a cliffhanger to leave us on. I will say that is the one decent thing that came out of this week's episode, or last week's episode, was the cliffhanger. Quite frankly, it was a decent cliffhanger to leave us all on as viewers, because we now have so many questions going into season 13. Will I watch season 13? Probably yes, I will watch season 13. But, I'm still going to criticise the Doctor Who under Chris Chibnall where it deserves criticising. For the most part, season 12 has been a pretty decent series. But I will say, the ending of season 12, oh my days, what was Chris Chibnall thinking? And I can just imagine the amount of backlash that's going to come off it. This could be the beginning of the end for Doctor Who as we know it. I hope not. I hope the show will continue to be around for many years to come. But having said that, it's not looking good. I'm not going to lie myself. Personally, I'm sort of turning off it a little bit now, because it's just becoming a bit silly, really. And anyone who thinks it's okay, and thinks my opinion is wrong, that's fine. Have your opinion, but maybe you do not understand Doctor Who as much as I do, Because as far as I'm concerned, William Hartnell's the first Doctor all day long. There is no other person who could, do the Doctor as the first, in my opinion. Regardless whether you liked him or hated him, it's a bit like Marmite. You can't replace Marmite. It's one of them things, you just can't replace. And that's the same with William Hartnell. Whether you love him or hate him, you've got to see him to be the real McCoy. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share this video. Until the next time, folks, have a great day.